Now let's have a look at the two transactions of the 10th, and one of these is a little challenging, but we'll do the easier one first. So receive cash payment from Clothes Galore for $17,600. First decision you need to make, which journal does it go in? So does it involve a sale on credit? No. Does it involve a purchase on credit? No. Does it involve the receipt of cash? Yes. Received cash payment. Now, the cash payment in there is a bit of a red herring. You see cash payment, it might lead you into the cash payments journal, but we want you to look at what's really happening. And what is it? We've received a cash payment, so it's a cash receipt. Now there's some other decisions that you need to have a look at generally, and I'll go and look at those on the page before. And so what are those decisions? Which journal? Yes, you've already decided that. It's the cash receipts journal. Now it's a cash receipts journal because it's the payment of an account receivable, received cash payment from Clothes Galore. So there will be a subsidiary ledger, and that will be the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger. Does it involve inventory? No, it doesn't. The original transaction did, but this one doesn't. Could discount come into play? Well, it could. So how do we check that? Well, we go back and we need to look at their subsidiary ledger. So we go accounts receivable subsidiary ledger for Clothes Galore. So Clothes Galore. It says they had an opening balance of $50,060. So we better go and look at that opening balance a little bit more. So trial balance opening, Clothes Galore, $50,600, and I'll just make that a bit bigger. So we can see the $17,600 they're paying is 60 days plus, so there's going to be no discount on this. So back to our decisions, there'll be no discount. Any other factors? Well, there's not in this case. So we need to go off to the accounts receiver. Well, not before, we need to go to the special journal of cash receipts. And we go June 10, Clothes Galore. And cash at bank was $17,600. And this was purely payment of accounts receivable. So this was a reasonably straightforward entry. We see both of those items went green when we put them in. Now, and because I've blown this up too much, that 10 is not clear. But now we need to go and post these to the subsidiary ledger. So subsidiary ledger for Clothes Galore. And we see Clothes Galore. I will make this a little bigger. June 10. Don't need an explanation, but here it might be for payment from old account. You probably in fact have the date in there. So this will be a credit entry. So special journal, we see a credit, accounts receivable credit. Now we need to summarise that. So the balance owing plus any increase minus any decrease, and that will give us our closing balance, which will be a debit. Now we'll see 33,000. If you want to go back to the trial balance opening, you'll see that's what their other payment is. So here, trial balance opening, 33,000. Righto, we've got one more thing to do on that. We've posted that to their subsidiary ledger, so we need to give it a tick. Alright, that's the easy transaction of the two. Now back to the other transaction, which is probably the most complicated transaction in here. So we might have to consider a few things. Receive cash payment from Fred Flintstone. Well, of course, that is cash receipts. Done. Righto. Decisions, cash receipts journal. We've already decided. Cash receipts. This will also be a subsidiary ledger, because it's a payment. Does it involve inventory? No. Could a discount come into play? Well, let's go and look. Let me just copy the transaction across now that we're looking at. Receive cash payment from Fred Flintstone. So we might have to look at a few things here and have a working paper. So, and I'll transfer this working paper to the back. Working paper. Actually, let me just call it Fred Flintstone 10 June payment. Righto. Amount paid is $18,953. Now, what is that? So let's first go to the subsidiary ledger to see what Fred Flintstone owes. Subsidiary ledger. Fred Flintstone owes $43,670. Now, one other thing I've done here, to say this is a bit tricky, there's another transaction in here which I've left out. So maybe I should now put it in, otherwise it will become super tricky. But let's track that through. So Fred made a purchase on the 1st of June of $39,270. Righto. Original purchase was, well, I'll go to the original purchase. $39,270, and that's got a sales component and a GST component. I might just copy those across so you have those. Then something else happened. There was a return. Now, where do we have that information? We have that information in the general journal, is where we recorded that. We've done that transaction, and you can see Fred Flintstone had a return of $23,100. So let's go a return of, I'll just write the 23,100 in, and it had two components. A GST component and the cost component. So Fred Flintstone now owes for that purchase $16,170, and again that has two components. It has a cost component and a GST component. Now there is one other item on here. Why did Fred Flintstone pay $18,953? Well, because if we go back to the subsidiary ledger, you see Fred Flintstone owed $4,400 at the beginning. So opening balance $4,400. Now this bit here could be subject to a discount. So, well, it is subject to a discount. It's the payment 10th of June, purchased on the 1st, but this bit won't be. So let's go back and see what the terms of trade were on that transaction. So the transaction on the first was sell computers, and I've got here 210, and I need to put a comment up on that. This is in fact what most things say is 1010. I did look at that and say that doesn't seem reasonable and changed it to 210, but it is in fact 1010, and I think your workbook will say 1010. So we're going to work on the 1010. So terms of trade, 10% discount if paid within 10 days. So let's have a look at the discount here. So equals divided by 10, 1617. Now that's going to be divided up into the GST and the cost. I better go it this way. So equals. So that discount in total, 1617, better be divided up into the cost and then into the discount. So net, they will pay, the net amount will be 16170 minus 1617, and now when we add that to the opening balance, we get 18953, which is the amount they've paid. So this one actually does work out. So now let's go and record these items. So what are we going to have to record? Well, we're going to have to record the amount they paid. We'll have to record the discount, and we'll have to record the change to the GST. And when we add all of these items together, we'll get what the reduction in accounts receivable will be. So accounts receivable will reduce by what they paid, plus the total discount, which is made up of the GST plus the net amount. So these are the 4 items that we'll need to put into the general journal, into the special journal, cash receipts. So let's have a look. We go the 10th. Cash at bank is 18953. GST 147. Net of GST 1470, and we can just add all of those up, or we can go and see what the amount was. They should both be the same. So 2570. They've all gotten green. Now this was for Fred Flintstone. Now let's post this to the subsidiary ledger, Fred Flintstone, and I am going to miss a line here. June 10, and it is a credit because he is paid. Credit to accounts receivable 2507, and the reference would be the cash receipts. Now, this is not going to work at the moment because I haven't posted an item in here. I was going to let you work that out. Now, if you've already done that, this will work for you, but let me go back and post that item. So, General Journal, Fred Flintstone, accounts receivable 23,100, and we'll post that down, and now we'll see those items work. June, I'm not sure what date there was, I better look. This is the General Journal, or be G1, And so now I need to go to the general journal and put in here a T for a tick to signify we've posted that to the subsidiary ledger. There is more to this posting reference than just that, so we'll have to come back and complete it. But not now, it happens later. So back to the transactions, and that completes those transactions. You'll find the next transaction, rent expense, is pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'll do it now. So what's rent expense? It's a cash payment. It is 5655. So special journal cash payments. Um, 5655. The 14th. Rent. I'm hoping that's check 614. The bank is 5655. That didn't work. Maybe it's 5665. That works. Now there's a component of that as GST. Yep, sorry, there's a component of that which is GST, but it's a GST debit equals, and then there's the amount that's actually equivalent to the rent that we pay. Now this is in other accounts, so which we'll have to post that at actually I will post that now. You can wait to the end of the month, but this item, because it's an other account and we're going to have a cross down the bottom, we're not going to post it in total, so we need to post it separately. So I need to go to the general ledger and post it now. So rent, it will be this one here, and I can put the opening balance in. Rent, account number, I guess it's going to be 629. I hope no opening balance. June 14. Maybe there was an opening balance. Actually, there was an opening balance, so those of you that have kept this up to date as you've gone will be 39375, an opening balance, June 1, OB. Now this will be June 14. And we know it's 5155, but I'll just go back to the entry. It's 5150. That goes in. We completely update it. Is the opening balance plus any debits minus any credits equals the closing balance, and we know because this is an expense, its normal balance is a debit. And we might have in here just monthly rent. But it's not essential you have a note there. And here is cash payments journal. So we can tell this is now being posted. Righto, that's the key items for here. 20 minutes, long enough. Bye.